Hi YouTubers. I'm going to start this video off by saying man down. That was kind of the more humorous way that I could present to you my current predicament. I don't know how I ended up in this place. I don't know how long it's going to last. But starting last Tuesday evening into night, like when you're past dinner or start to get about dinner time, I started feeling like I had a piece of dirt in my right eye. No big deal. Flush it out, lift out on the upper lid, make it water, it'll go away. Wednesday comes around, I still feel like, man, I must have got something in my eye. So then you start asking yourself, when was the last time I was grinding on anything? When was the last time I was welding? When was the last time I was near somebody who's welding? Man, it's been like 2 weeks ago, or it's been since we did the work on that Turbo 400 mount. I haven't been around any grinding, welding, anything. So then I'm thinking, okay, maybe I accidentally wiped a piece of metal in my eye or something. So I continue to try to flush it. I'm gonna soldier up, I'm a man through this. It's not gonna be a big deal. Thursday comes around, I'm starting to panic. Because I'm like, okay, I think I got a piece of something in my eye. It's starting to feel like maybe I've got a rock or something in there. I mean, it's getting bad. So I'm telling my wife about it, and she's like, oh, you probably just scratched your eye. Let's just give it another day and see how it goes. By Friday of this past week, I now feel like I got a self-tapper stuck underneath this eyelid, and it is scratching the living crap out of my eye. Like in my brain, I'm like, there is something in my eye. I've got to get it out. At this point, I can't drive for 2 reasons. Number one, I feel like I have got a huge object digging a hole in this eye, which for some reason is causing my left eye to, like, I don't know, water profusely, be super sensitive to sunlight and wind. So I couldn't even hardly drive. Like, it was all I could do to drive to downtown Kansas City and back to the emergency room, because I just couldn't see. So I was like, okay, this has got to stop, you know. So I go to the emergency room on Friday. They get me in. They numb my eye, put a bunch of dye in there. They literally roll your eyelids back on top of Q-tips so they can dig around with other Q-tips to see if there's anything in there. They can't find anything in the eye, but they decide that there's some kind of an abrasion underneath my right upper eyelid, and that it somehow has caused a corneal abrasion on my right eye. Well, at this point, I'm just glad somebody knows something, because when you don't truly know what's wrong with you, your mind can come up with some outrageous ideas of what might be wrong with you. So I'm like, okay, we at least know there's nothing in there, or if it was in there, it's been flushed out, and now I just got to start the healing process. So they basically flush it one more time, give me a prescription for some goop, which is basically turns out to be like an ointment that essentially did nothing other than make my eye get matted together. But the story doesn't end there. I go through Friday night into Saturday, and I'm thinking, man, this is weird, because it literally feels like there's still something in my eye. And now my left eye is blurry. Like, all this time up until Saturday morning, even though I had a lot of pain and discomfort, I didn't have any vision problems as far as, focusing. Saturday morning when I got up, I was like, wow, this is weird because my right eye is super blurry. And of course, my wife and I both were like, oh, it's probably that stupid goop they had, that stuff they had you put in your eye. I bet it's just built up in there. So I took a hot shower, tried to kind of let everything, take its course. It didn't help my right eye at all. And then I started having blurry vision in my left eye. I said, dude, I hate to go, because I'm one of them people, I don't go to the hospital unless I'm carrying my head in my hand next to me. I don't like hospitals. So I'm like, dude, I gotta go back to the hospital. Something's going on with my eyes. Go back to the emergency room Saturday afternoon, get a different doctor. And now let me just preface this. Both visits to the ER, I didn't actually get to see a doctor. Both times I either got to see an intern or a nurse practitioner, which I'm not down in those guys, but I really at this point I'm starting to panic, getting a little freaked out over my eyesight. And I would kind of like to see somebody who's a little bit more trained, but the second, I think he was an intern of some kind, he did a really good job, went through similar processes as the first person with numbing it, digging in there. It was a little bit more forceful, which made it hurt a lot worse afterwards, but at least I felt like he was really getting in there trying to look in my eye and see if he could find anything. He did notice that I had what he was going to refer to as an abnormal cornea abrasion. In other words, it didn't look like a scratch on the cornea. It was just a malformation of the cornea. So he was like, listen, I'm going to give you some drops that has some steroids in it, some anti-inflammatories, whatever. But Monday, you need to go straight in and see an eye specialist so they can look at it and see what they think. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. We even tried to go see one on Saturday who was supposed to be open, but of course they weren't open and they were full of crap. So first thing Monday, went down, saw this, an eye doctor that does your glasses, an optometrist, and then the other person is an ortho something. I can't remember, I apologize. But they do tests on me down here at the specialist that, because at this point I'm going to need laser surgery to fix my cornea. I don't know what's wrong with me. Turns out this person says that I have like a rare form of a viral pink eye that's causing deformations of my cornea. And I'm like, hold up, beep, beep, back the truck up. I've had pink eye. I think everybody I went to school with at some point had pink eye. I don't think anybody ever lost their vision over it. I need more information. So he basically explains to me that I've got this viral infection in my eyes that's causing my corneas to not be flat and smooth, which in turn takes away my vision. Okay, that makes me not feel better, but at least I know I don't have a piece of metal in my eye, I guess. So then the prognosis comes down. He's like, well, basically we're going to have you continue your eye drops, try to get you some just clear eyes, keep your eyes moist and flushed. Don't touch your eyes, don't touch anybody else because you're extremely highly contagious, and probably in about 2 to 3 weeks it'll clear up. Did I mention I can't see? I guess, yeah, okay. So basically my right eye he would consider me legally blind in, and my left eye I can see close up if I don't overuse it for a little while. So at this point, I'm not allowed to drive. I can't watch TV. I can look at my cell phone for short periods of time, but then it starts aggravating both eyes where they start watering real bad. So if everybody could just take a deep breath, maybe if you're the type person that prays, because I am a Christian, you could say a prayer for me. Hopefully God will help my eyes heal faster than the 2 to 3 week span that the doctors are saying it's going to take. That would be great. I've often wondered how horrible it would be if this was to happen. And I can tell you right now, it causes so much freaking anxiety, not being able to focus, that it's hard to explain. Like, you can't put into words the amount of stress that it puts on a person who normally sees and operates in a normal fashion with their eyesight to now have none. You know, like, I can see, but I can't focus clearly on anything beyond the end of my hand, and I can only do that with my left eye. So, the video, as stated, was man down. I've somehow invented my own sickness or illness that's apparently pretty serious, and I'm going to try to take care of it as best I can. Hopefully be able to get back to making some videos as soon as possible. You know, I know you guys will understand, because it's not my fault or anything like that, but I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up as to why I wouldn't be posting videos, or why I have a lack of content here for a little bit while I try to get these stupid eyes cleared out. So fingers crossed, everything will get better. Appreciate you guys watching.